Hi, and welcome to A Punk with Toys. My name is Lawrence, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Four Horsemen's first G.I. Joe Roadblock. Oh wait, this is the ATL 25. The Artillery Team Leader 25 is the year, basically ATL for the 2025 Toylanta exclusive. Now, again, Toylanta is it's from what I understand, I believe it's kind of a Joe convention in some ways. And let's be honest, we look at this Toylanta, there's Joe Lanta, they're run by the same people from what I understand. And you look at this guy and you can't tell me that this guy is not based off of Roadblock from G.I. Joe. So of course, I was excited. I really wanted to have him. And thank you to 3-Star Draw Darren, who hit me up and said, hey, you know what? I'm going to try and get you one. So thank you very much. Hey, if you're in this community, make friends with people, because guess what? It goes really far, man. You have people that'll hook you up. You hook up other people, and, well, it's called a community. So anyway, we're going to take a look at this guy. We're going to take him out. Look at his articulation. Look at everything that he comes with. Again, I think it's a kind of a neat idea what they went with the ATL 25. So, and on the back, we have the photography. It looks like he's in the jungles. Again, it's some sort of machine gun. Maybe it's a machine laser gun. It's kind of made me laugh because when you look at this guy, he really looks like the first versions of Classified, or even the Cobra Island one with the bigger beard. And everyone hated the ray guns, and myself included. Yet here we kind of have the same thing, and people are fawning all over this. But anyway, let's get this thing out. There he is right there. You can probably pause it and read it if need be. But you know what? I want to open this up because I'm excited. You know I love to open my toys. So anyway, let's get into this. But before we do, please, if you like this type of stuff, take a second. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop some sort of Four Horsemen G.I. Joe mashup. Alright, so we got them out of the package. Again, you can see I have one Mythic Legions here, and then I have the original Roadblock from the Cobra Island. Actually, he's not from the Cobra Island, he's from the regular wave. Cobra Island one is actually downstairs. So anyway, we're going to take a look at it. Before you guys even get started, if you're looking to get this, he is not going to scale with Classified. He is much bigger, as that's what Mythic Legions are. And we know that Roadblock is one of the biggest bucks next to Serpentor and, let's say, Road Pick and Nemesis Immortal. So as you can see right away, they do not scale together. Now you can do photography and make it work, but if you're looking to just have him in there, he's just way too big. He is built off a 7-inch buck. So he is really, in all honesty, going to fit more with, let's say, the Super 7, but with the detail, he's not going to match with Super 7. All right, so let's just kind of take a look at everything that we got here. I like to go over the accessories first and what he comes with. So we'll start off with a couple hands. So we got a trigger finger here. Here we have just a little bit of paint here for these rivets that are kind of holding the guards up on his gloves. Got a nice little trigger finger, soft enough you should be able to drop the weapon in it. Here's more of a holding hand. Now, they give you enough stuff that if you are not a military guy, not a Joe guy, you're just a Four Horsemen guy, a Mythic Legion guy, a Cosmic Legion, you can change him into fit that aesthetic more than Joe. So here's the same thing, and again, when you look at the detail right there, it does look really nice. This is one thing that you'll never have to worry about the Mythic Legions or Four Horsemen stuff. Here's the trigger finger for his right hand. And then we just have another grabby hand here. And what he has on it right now is the thumb hand. Then we have the two arms. So if you want to have him so he's completely covered, you don't have to worry about seeing his color at all, because maybe you want to use one of the other heads. This is what you have. Now looking at it here, it looks like it kind of has that, I guess not the chain armor, but it looks like it has some sort of stitching through it. You can see the stitching up here. It looks really nice. It should just bend right there. All right. A lot easier if I have arms actually on it. I don't think I'm going to be popping this off, but they do pop off fairly easy, but you do want to use some heat just to be on the safe side. All right. So I guess right here we have the ATL shield. All right. And what it looks like, looks like maybe there's a couple lights that are supposed to pop up there. I think that might be a light. You can look through the riot shield. And this piece here, if you want to take it apart, I think you should be able to take it apart, because all the other shields tend to come off. So you can take this off if you like. I guess this goes on it. So you can use... See, I thought this was for the head at first, but now I'm thinking it goes somehow on the actual shield. I don't know. It's actually meant to plug in here. So if you don't want them to hold it, I guess let me do this really quick here. So anyway, the way the shields go on, okay, we can pop this off here. We can use the handle here. All right, we were just looking at this on one of my knights that I just got, Sir Elijah, and so this kind of pops right on here, and then he can hold it. Now, not everyone's going to be doing that. They like to have it so they can have him holding everything. So, if we pop this off here, pop this through here, you can see that it's keyed, right? You can see that it's keyed. And again, if you're new to the channel and you're like, why are you wasting all this time? Well, it's because I like to show you guys everything and how it goes. How difficult all this is going to be. So this is going to plug like this. All right. So you have the riot shield. Now it has a different connector. And right here or anywhere, for the most part, you can even plug it into his back here. These will plug right into the side here. And then you don't have to worry about them actually holding it. All right. It's not the greatest for aesthetic if you're looking inside, but maybe you'd like to see him holding it, but not that big of a deal for something like this. All right. So that's what this stuff is. And pop that on right there. We have his stun weapon. All right. Now this here, two pieces, they plug together. You have the detail on it. Now we're looking at some green. We got the dark green right there, and then we have the black handle. All right. Now these things kind of plug together. Mythic Legions or Four Horsemen does a lot of this. All right. And this is supposed to be the, I guess, the stunning prod. Oops. So pretty easy. They're gonna be. I don't know why I just did that. But it is a different green, so I mean, it makes it look really nice. It is straight, all right, for the most part. It almost seems like it's on an angle, but most of the stuff is never like that. All right. Then we're going to get this gun. Now, I've got this with the Cosmic Legion. Here is the same gun again. You're going to see a lot of reuse. No removable magazine, so you don't have to worry about that. So quickly looking at it, here you have your stock. A lot of nice little design on it. This is more of a laser weapon, so there's not a no port for blast effects. Now again, the way this is made, you can say that it has bullets. How you can make it look like it's a pump action. You do have the scope right down there. And now it has this hole. Now you may wonder what the hole is for. Again, that is their connecting mechanism. All right, so if you just want to connect it onto the figure. So what you're going to see with any Cosmic Legion or this figure, are you going to see these things that look like little vials. Now, I had no idea what they were on my first Cosmic Legion, but they plug in like this, all right? And then you can plug it into the back, and that's how he's going to hold it, all right? So all of their weapons, that's how they try and do their weapon system. It's kind of weird. I wouldn't want that for G.I. Joe, a matter of fact. They were trying to do that, and people absolutely hated it, and for good reason, to be honest. All right. Here we have a pistol with a flashlight on the bottom. And again, same whole system, but you got the trigger, you got your trigger guard. A weird grip, but again, remember, this is built in sci-fi. All right. So it's clearly like a laser pistol, as it has how it almost looks like the tuning fork that came with the original Roadblock, just in pistol form. I don't know, no one like that. But you do have the black underneath here, the green, and then just a little spot right there of what looks to be like silver. For the light, we have some shoulder pauldrons. And again, you get the nice paint up there. Now these are going to plug right into the back. They're made to look like they actually screw in. Little ventilation here. And those are going to plug in right here. Alright, now all Mythic Legions, they use stuff like this. This guy has it. They use it for their wings. They use it for different backpacks, different things like that. So again, you can use it however you want. Again, your toy, no one's taking it away from you. At least I don't think anyone's taking it away. And of course you have two. Here we have this piece, which took me a second to figure it out. Now this is for the backpack, I do believe, if you want to. So you can plug it into his back, like so. Alright. And what you're going to be able to do is, if you took the shield, if you had the shield and you had the other handle, this handle, you can plug it in like so, or maybe even in the middle here. Kind of gawky, probably not what Joe collectors are looking for, so I doubt you'll ever use this. But if you're Cosmic Legion, then it may be exactly what you want. But I think for most Joe collectors, they're going to want to see this backpack. So we'll take a look at this backpack here. Really nice. Again, this thing sticks in pretty good. You don't have to really worry about it. So this is going to be your backpack holding your ammo. All right, you're going to have the ammo chute coming right out here. So here we're kind of looking at it. It's got some detail right here. What, 4 different colors? Or let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different colors, I think. All right. If you can hear that, that's my son being really loud playing video games. Highly frustrating. So, just a nice little mark there. All this detail really gives it the depth here. You can also plug the weapons in the sides here. That makes more sense than, I think, plugging it on some of the side here. Maybe the pistol, but we'll get to the figure in a second. But looking at this detail, look, even here, it kind of has a dink in it. They're really good for having different marks like it's been in battle. It looks like maybe here's some hydraulics on it. Maybe kind of weird. Again, you're seeing a theme here where it's kind of going to turn, how it's going to kind of screw in. So you're seeing a theme right there. All right. And this here is going to plug like this. Now I got a lot of space there. But again, you have to remember, this is not G.I. Joe. This is meant to be, it's meant to work with Cosmic Legions, and I'm sure this is probably just a repaint of something that they already have. All right. As for our gun, all right, we have this piece here, and that's going to plug directly into there. Now, before someone's probably wondering, why would you do something like this? Why wouldn't you just make it one piece? It is because they will use this base for other things and then just change out the barrels. This is how they keep costs down. Again, I know a lot of people will hate it, especially in the Joe community. So looking at this, it almost looks like a little speeder bike, like the swoop bike from Star Wars. So I thought these were binoculars at first. Took me a second to figure out exactly what they were, or what it was. So you're going to have 2 barrels right there. You got the black and the green. Again, a little bit of detail pushing right through there. Here we're going to have a couple rivets, what looks like some sort of coil system. Here's where he's going to be able to hold on to it, obviously, and then you have your trigger back here. This here looks like it should fit on some sort of tripod. There is no tripod in this, so don't bother looking for one or waiting for that part of it. Here's what I would assume is some sort of either hydraulics or maybe even electronics that's going to fire this. And on this side here, we have the spot for our ammo chute. So our ammo is going to shoot through here and going through the back right there. All right. So looks pretty good here. Here's our big ammo chute. I don't see any paint on this. It's just all black, but you do have some nice detail to it. It is soft, it's pliable, so we're not going to have a problem moving it around. And because of the length of it, I don't think it's really going to be that big of a deal. If it was too short, it may be too stiff. With how long this is, I don't think there's going to be too much of a problem. They do give them this, which I had a bunch of these. Matter of fact, I have it right. Oh, I have something similar. But it's not the same because right there, we are back to our, I don't know if this has it on it. Yeah, look, even that has it on it. All right. So it's very similar to the design that they're going for right there, even though that's a little bit different. But these two spots normally are so you can slide. Oh, that's just one. Mythic Legions are different. They usually have a spot where you can slide the sword in there. Now, if you want to take I'm assuming if you take the belt off, you can slide this on them. Again, they make it so it's very customizable. But this is very pliable. You get your nice buckle, always painted differently. Again, always back into depth. These little rivets that go there, so looks like there's a buckle on both sides. All right. We're almost to the figure, guys. So we have two different heads. Again, if you're more of a Cosmic Legions and you don't want this to be military or fully military, they gave you the alien heads. Now, don't get me wrong, because you can't fully see into this, you could say this is a helmet that he's wearing, either or for the most part. All right, so you look here, you got that same little device there. It looks like you're gonna twist on. Just a little bit of design right here. You got a hose probably for some sort of air vent. And beyond that, you can kind of see something back there. Looks like this would be where the eyes are and just kind of wraps around. Now, these do come off. All right. Now, I guess we'll show off that one after. Now, I fully don't understand what this is, how this alien actually looks. All right. But it looks like there's also a couple hoses right here. The thing just kind of plugs right on there. I believe I have this head for one of my Cosmic Legions. I know I have this one right here, obviously. But it does look good. And again, if you don't need this to be G.I. Joe, you're a Four Horsemen fan, a Cosmic Legions fan, you can pick this up and know that it's going to fit in with those Cosmic Legions. So this helmet is very similar to that one. All right, it doesn't have the big, what I would perceive to be eyes kind of sticking out here. You're still looking at the same type of earpiece. Again, this looks like kind of twist on. And then this thing also will come right off. All right. And again, it looks the exact same. Now, let's say you have one of these. Now, I don't know if you really want to pop that on there. But again, it is your head cannon. And sometimes you drop things. I said it before. You get total butterfingers when you're doing these reviews. So you can throw that on there. It actually doesn't look bad. And we could take this here. Now this actually looks pretty good. I really like the clear piece. I think they should give them all this translucent clear piece. I think it looked really nice. All right. But we're going to mess around with this a little bit over here. So we'll throw this back on here. Possibly. And we'll throw this one on. All right. Okay, now on to our ATL 25 figure, our Not Roadblock. And the reason why I brought this Mythic Legion down here is, again, we're going to see a lot of repaint. So this was also an exclusive, and as you can see, these are the same face sculpts. One is a darker shade of black. He has the black beard. It's hard. I mean, if you were just looking, you probably wouldn't notice unless someone said, hey, look, those are the same head sculpts. Just know you get a lot of that with the Mythic Legion stuff. It's one thing that G.I. Joe doesn't do. And some of the other ones, they don't reuse the same head sculpt for different characters. All right, so here he is. Got the nice big Baldylocks Reviews beard. He's got some nice eyes. You can tell that it's looking straight ahead. A very shiny head. And you can see the texture. So, I mean, it actually looks like he's got some ripples, some bumps in his head. And believe me, as a guy with a shaved head, I fully understand that. But the nose, I mean, the paint is pretty good. Here we have ATL 25. We got the little clasps that are just kind of holding this together. So this is obviously his armor, his plate carrier, I guess you would say. It's going to connect in here, run up underneath here, and then you have the texture of, I mean, that looks more like it is some sort of armor that's underneath it, which I have no problem with. And again, if we want to pop the arms off, we can pop the arms off, and then we're going to pop the forearms off, and we could use one of these arms. But for me, I actually like the bare arms a little bit more. These are not nipples. This is not Batman. These are little rivets going all the way down. I love the ATL 25. And then you can see the middle piece, little middle pieces where it's meant to look like it moves, right? So he can actually crunch, although he probably can't crunch. He's got the gauntlets here. Now again, you're going to use what looks like these little vials. Again, these are something really easy to lose, so be careful. I had no idea when I got the first Cosmic Legions what they went to. And again, we're still looking at the same aesthetic, the same ideal, that they're kind of making it look like a flat head right there. And again, you're going to get the same thing with this glove, except this is the thumb wrestling. You get down to the pouches, and I mean, look at that paint here. So you got a flashlight here. At least what I perceive to be a flashlight. These pouches, all right, all the little clasps are just holding it together nicely. Who knows what he's carrying in there? There's your belt buckle. And then you have the piece that's going to protect his manhood. On the side here, this is where we're going to plug in our, more than likely our pistol. I don't see us holding anything else. We got the camouflage, some knee pads right here. You get down to the boots. And again, you're seeing the same design cues right down here. They do have a peg for stands. You shouldn't need to use stands, but you do have a nice design of what looks like a steel toe. And for the most part, this figure should stand without any issues. All right, so now let's say you want to swap out the head. You're like, you know what? I need a Cosmic Legion. Or maybe you're just like, hey, this is a helmet that I want him to have. He needs to have a helmet. I don't know if I'm going to use this one. I feel like it might be a little top heavy. So we're going to pop that off. Well, maybe we'll use the smaller one, which I think actually looks better anyway. So there you go with that. But we really want this head, I think everyone. Now we got to give this guy some trigger fingers, right? So shouldn't have too much of an issue. That's always the famous last words. Hands come off fairly easily. Now just be careful. I did break one of the females as they're much thinner. You just want to be very careful. Now this will separate right here. Again, if we wanted to put the arm on. I don't want to. I'm going to throw this trigger finger on. And for me, I'll be 100% honest, I'm fine with just 2 trigger fingers. I don't need this hand. It's good for Mythic Legions because they don't really have triggers to shoot other than a couple crossbows. As they are swords, shields, axes, and not science, but magic. So there we get that. Let's look at the articulation. He looks up and his head comes right off. So he can look up. He can not really look down because the beard, and go side to side. He's got the T-pose. think I plugged that in all the way. He turns at the shoulder. He's got about a 90-degree elbow. Now there are no double pinned joints in Mythic Legions. Now that's my dog. There's always someone making noise in this house here. So he gets a 90-degree, a little bit more than a Master of the Universe Origin. He can't really look he can't really look forward. He can look back that much, but then you have a huge gap side to side. Great Jean-Claude Van Damme. I guess he can kick up. That's how easy his legs come off. And before anyone says, wow, like they're supposed to. These are meant to be interchangeable with everything. So you can get about a 90-degree turn there. He turns at the knee, so there's no boot cut, although it looks like there would be. He turns at the knee, no thigh cut. They turn up top here, and then you have your ankle rocker. Now, you're asking, first off, let's see, can he actually fire a weapon? Can he actually look down? Now, I have a Cosmic Legion that is firing their sniper rifle and actually looks pretty good. And for the most part, and again, while you're watching, please take a second, hit that like button if you haven't yet. Now, you're asking, why would you spend this much time? Why don't you just show us? Well, I like to show everyone exactly what it is you're going to be dealing with if you get this, or any Cosmic Legion. So with this figure here, for the most part, I can get them looking at down that scope. With the limited articulation that they do have, I think it actually looks really good. I mean, again, if you have this figure, he's in the background, or maybe he's in the forefront, you might not have an issue. All right, and I mean pairing him with Classified. But you guys all came for this thing, so we're gonna see how well we can get this onto him. This is kind of like a form of his, the Gatling gun, or the Mod Deuce, whatever you want to say. So we're going to take, where the hell's our backpack at? You have your backpack, again, this is your bottom of of it. I'm going to pop that in right there. Here we have this big ol' ammo chute. It looks like it goes either way. So just kind of plug that right in there. Plug her on into the back of it. Maybe. Kind of a tight fit for sure, but we can get this thing to fit in there. Like I said, this thing is soft and pliable, so no big deal. And so here we go. Now he's able to just fire this big old cannon. Maybe. Because I have to move this up a little bit higher. You see, this is why I do it. You may be frustrated watching it, and some people say I should be embarrassed. But I'm trying to show you, before you decide to make a decision, if you're going to leap into a $50, $60, even $100 figure, if it's something you want to make that investment. And I'm going to say right now, this figure is going to be frustrating to get in some of those poses. This thing does stay in for the most part, but the limited articulation kind of gets in the way. So more than anything, we're going to have to get them standing where we want them. I have no problem putting them there, but if we want to get everything, it's definitely going to be a little difficult. Now, I guess, I forgot to show you, I kind of want the pauldrons on them. So the pauldrons are just going to go right back here. And they just kind of plug right in there, no problem. But again, kind of tight. All right, so we got it right there. All right. And yes, I know there are other people that don't spend this much time on it, and that's great. Because everyone has to have their own little style. Now with this here, he doesn't look bad. And then this thing is going to plug in just like we were talking. So that's why that's that big gap there. Now you don't see the gap. All right, it actually kind of looks better without the pauldrons. I guess I have to play around with them a little bit. So now what we're going to do is take this thing. All right, I'm going to plug in one here. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to plug this thing in here, and it's going to make it even harder to put that ammo chute on, because it's definitely going to be in the way. Then we're going to take this here, and everything I'm doing is all for right-handed, and look. I guess I can put it over here on the left side. So we can kind of get that out of the way the best way possible. All right, now we're going to plug that in there. I feel like I'm almost going to wrap it around his, and I guess I could bring it underneath there, but let's be honest, I think most people would want to see it back here. And getting the thing in there wasn't the problem. It was moving the legs. It was moving the legs. This ammo chute is going to be a pain in the ass. So this is why I do it, to show you guys exactly how easy or how hard something might be. And what I'm seeing right here is this thing is going to be a complete pain in the ass to get to shoot it that way. So this is up to you guys. Again, this was the Toylanta exclusive. As you can, I'm like determined to get this on here. Kind of have to. Every time you move it though, I see his hands are all weird. So as soon as I move them like this, that chute's going to come out. Very frustrating. I mean, extremely frustrating. So I guess the best way to do it is we're going to have to push it over on this side. Or go underneath his legs, which makes no sense. Yeah, this is frustrating. I mean, it seemed good, but the way he articulates, and now it's in the front, I guess it's not the worst thing if that's how you want to do it. But there we go. That is your ATL 25, your Toylanta exclusive. Oh, and I'm back because, oh my God. If you want, you can plug this on this way. Now this guy clearly is not human. He's not hauling around all this stuff. This would be a mess to try and haul around. But technically you can get a lot on his person if that's how you want to do it. Again, I like the ATL 25. I like the way that it's shown off, but he's a large guy. Really going to be large against Mezco figures. We'll just say that. All right, so there you go. That is your ATL 25 Toylanta exclusive from the Four Horsemen Studios. Not Mythic Legion, not Cosmic Legion. It's its own one-off. There'll probably be more considering they're going to Joe Fest now. A lot of frustration. I think he looks awesome. He's not really going to fit with Classified. Again, you can make him work if need be. But I have more of a frustration on how certain things and certain aspects look and work because they don't have double elbows and double knees. And I've talked about this before in other ones. Some people argue with me. You're mostly going to buy a Mythic Legion for the amazing paint sculpt, the amazing design, and the accessories. Articulation, not so much. But you can make it work, even if it might not be how you want it to. Like in the front, but like I can put so much of this stuff with them. But anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. You've seen how he looks against Roadblock. He towers over him, and we know Roadblock and Gung Ho are bigger when it comes to G.I. Joe. So I'm going to get out of here. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask you, you stay this long, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop a Four Horsemen Studios figure. But I'm going to leave. What I'm going to do is up here is I'm going to leave you a another Mythic Legion that I did. I don't know, let's say like Sir Elijah. And down here will be a playlist of all the Four Horsemen stuff that I've done. Take care.